Like you're like this.
Hey guys, it's your girl Daph. We're here with another episode of The Fix. I know the setup is a little different. You guys are not used to seeing me in the main host chair, but today I actually will be your host. So we have Mr. Cadet, of course.
You know, I'm here.
Okay.
Fellas.
I hope you hold it down this time because I've been killing you.
Man, listen.
But it's not about us today. And we also have a co-host, Mr. Gerald.
That's right. I'm here in the building.
Yeah, so these two actually do have a podcast together called Kennel Talk. So where can they share it or watch you guys?
Everywhere.
Spotify, podcast, everything.
Apple, everything.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So today, actually, what we're going to be doing is dabbling in the male's perspective. We're going to be going into the male mind. Everybody wants to know what these men think. Everybody wants to know.
But can they handle it, though? I don't think
Of
women,
course,
I don't
we
think
can
y'all
handle
can
it.
handle the thoughts
The
of a
truth.
man. Yeah.
The truth.
I don't think y'all can.
Are you guys always telling the truth, though?
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
For sure.
So
Of
this
course.
is where we're going to go ahead and be right back. We're going to actually get the truth today, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll try.
And we're going to just go ahead and just give you guys some points and just really figure out what these guys have to say. Okay? Y'all ready?
Been born ready.
Okay, y'all hear it. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So, first things first, what we're going to talk about is I want you guys to give me an overview on how men look at dating in 2019. Overall, what's the first thing you think about when you think of dating and how it is now?
Me personally, I feel like it's a lot of games because everybody's scared of getting hurt. Everybody's scared of looking like a fool. So it's like you don't really put your best foot forward. You feel me? Like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because you're like, just in case she playing around so I don't get hurt, I'm going to do my thing. And then females thinking the same thing, I feel like, most of the time, where they like, you know what, let me keep my options open.
So a lot of people are just really guarded right
Pretty
now.
much, yeah.
Nobody wants to be the fool. Nobody wants to get played.
Yeah, and then social media, you know, everybody's just like, well, I could be here, I could be there, you know. Nobody's focused on that one person no more.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
And me, I tend to think that the woman is a motivator. I feel like a woman basically sets the direction of where the date's going to go. If it's going to last, if it's going to be temporary, that's the woman taking it.
I agree.
You know, women motivate men to do certain things, and if he's dating somebody that motivates him, then he's going to move in the direction that the woman wants to move in.
Okay, that's good. So, but what about the men who have women that are motivators and are everything that they could ask for, but they still don't hold up their end of the bargain?
I'm going to say this. Just because you are a good woman, just because you motivate, doesn't mean that that's his motivation.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, I feel like different women for different men. You know, you can be a great woman, but it's not to him.
Yeah.
So
What's that saying? If he's not ready, ain't nothing you can do about it.
ain't nothing you can do about
If
it.
she's
That's
not
true.
ready, ain't nothing you can do about it.
And it's just like when
It's all
you're
about
dating,
time.
you can actually prepare that person for somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
They could be
Facts.
great for somebody else, not for you. Okay.
Facts.
Definitely.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys a couple questions that ties into dating as a whole. And I just want you guys to be as honest as possible. No filter.
Kennel talk style. Got you.
Okay, as honest as possible. No filter around here, okay?
No filters.
So the first question is, what is your 3 biggest turnoffs in a relationship?
Mine personally, hygiene, communication, and loyalty. 3 biggest things about me, dating me, is hygiene, loyalty, and communication. I'm big on communication.
But that's what you're looking for.
That's what I'm looking for, but also within a relationship too. Like, you got to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be in a relationship and as a female, you know, you have all these products and you have certain things wrong with your teeth, certain things wrong with lotion.
Little odors coming out.
Odors coming out. You know what I'm saying? You guys have the biggest product line
yeah.
of everything.
Yeah, there's no
versus
reason
men.
for us
There's
to
no
be.
reason.
Yeah.
Should be no stenches come from a woman.
Right,
I
right.
feel like it's worse when it comes from a woman. Like, guys being stank, it's
I was
like,
like,
it's kind
it's
of
whatever.
expected. But a woman, like,
I mean, as a
You know,
woman,
like,
I see what you're saying.
I get where
I see
you're
what
going
you're saying,
though.
though.
But as a
Right.
woman, I could say we want a man to keep themselves up,
for
smell
sure.
good. There's nothing like a man who just walks
I invest
past
in my
you.
colognes.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
smell good. So, okay, what would you say is your 3 biggest turnoffs?
I would say a woman that's friendly, like super over the top friendly, is a turn off.
Break that down, because a lot of people have different meanings of what being friendly is.
Basically, like flirty. Like, you know, I don't think there's ever a time for anybody to be flirty in a relationship. Like, I don't care. Like, people will say for a job, just no. I don't think you should be flirty because it's disrespectful to the relationship, guys and girls. Like, once you're in a relationship, that should be deaded. You
Right.
feel me? That's just how I feel. I agree with Gerald on hygiene. That's big. That's
Big.
super big.
Big.
And I'll probably say, dang, what's a good one? Keeping your body up to par, man.
As far as like working out,
Working
and
out, what
keeping
you
in
eat,
shape,
like, yeah, like,
or just health wise.
exactly, like, don't be, you know, just eating crazy. Like, nothing against big girls. I'm not gonna say nothing against big girls. Please do not demolish me in the comments. But I can't, like, me personally, I'm not gonna, you know, be like, hey, you should go to the gym or whatever. Not saying that I would go like that, but
Right.
and then not go to the gym with her. You feel me? If I'm gonna be in a relationship, like, we're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna eat, you know, right together.
Right.
But I don't like when a woman just like eating crappy and then be complaining about her body. Like,
Right,
come
something's
on,
gotta give.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you want results, you gotta actually put the work in.
That's how
Right.
I feel.
All right. Is there any other turnoffs?
Communication. We gotta be able
The
to
lack
communicate.
of?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's big. The older you get, the more you see the emphasis on communication.
Facts.
Right.
Loyalty is big as hell. Like,
If I can't talk to you, how else are we gonna communicate? How else are we
Right.
gonna? How else am I gonna be able to understand you as a person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to a man that is interested in a woman, I feel like communication is definitely key. Like, I need to know what your likes are, what your dislikes are. You know, what moves you, what gets you mad, what doesn't get you mad, what gets you happy.
what gets you wet? You feel me?
You know, at the end of the day,
It's a guy's version today.
Right,
So
it's
we-
a guy's version.
You said keep it 100, right?
Keep it 100.
I'm just saying.
So-
you gotta know
Appreciate it.
everything.
Right. So in order
Gotta
for
have
me,
those combos.
right. So in order for me to actually know that, I gotta know your communication level, effective communication.
Okay, good. So that ties into my next question. Why do you think it's so hard for men to communicate? A lot of men, sometimes they harbor their feelings. I know as women, we're a little bit more expressive. We talk more. We're always letting you guys know what's going on. Hey, this and that, this is how we feel. But for men, you guys are a little bit more reserved. So I know when you guys harbor your feelings, that kind of makes you lack in communication because you're not always so ready to put forward what it is that you feel or what you're trying to say. So why do you think men struggle with that?
You want to go first or me?
Either or, man.
All right. So I'm gonna say it like this. I feel like society plays a big role. Upbringing plays a big role, and then where you are stature-wise as a man plays a big role. And why I say that is because we're so groomed as men to be tough, to not show emotion, to go on and make sure that, you know, even if we're feeling something, don't show it, you know. And then on the opposite end, if we do show it, you're seen as less of a man in front of a female. Like, oh, you're too emotional.
Right.
You got these females that say,
Too
oh, you're too
sensitive.
sensitive,
Yeah.
you're in your feelings. So sometimes it's hard for a man to find that middle ground. You know, how do I express myself without being too expressive, you know, or being too emotional?
Right.
You know, that all ties into why men basically bottle up their feelings and don't really want to talk to the female and let her know, okay, this is what's going on. Sometimes we just go to our homeboy house, or we may have a podcast that we talk about
Be
on Kennel
reckless
Talk,
on.
on Be Reckless on, that gives us an outlet of us being men to tell you exactly how we feel. Because we may not be able to tell you face to face, but we find barbershops, we find locker rooms, we find gyms that we can talk about.
But what about if you're in a relationship with someone? You know, a lot of times when you're in a relationship, you guys are like best friends. Like, if I'm ever dating somebody, that person is my homie. You know what I mean?
And you pillow talk and all that stuff.
Yeah, so when you pillow talk or when you guys are just talking about every other thing or even gossiping together, because
Yeah.
couples gossip together.
That happens.
But when
Anybody
it
saying
comes,
otherwise lying.
no. Couples gossip together.
Right.
But when it comes down to like men really expressing how they feel, it just always seems like it's just really difficult for them.
I think a lot of women are not receptive to it because it's like, all right, so you want us to communicate our feelings, right? So you may give me a scenario where you say this and this happened, but like allow me to feel away. If I'm upset about the situation, let me be upset.
Right, I
Like,
agree.
because when a guy, it's like, okay, a woman could be okay. It's okay for a woman to be upset about something. But the minute a guy is upset about something, it's like, why you in your feelings? Like, da-da-da-da, trust me. That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's a double standard in that aspect. Because it's like, okay, like he said, society has built up this thing where men can't, you know, show emotion. If we show emotion, then we're weak. So it's like, damn,
That's
if I
true.
really feel you, like, why would I not show emotion?
That's
I feel
true.
like women should be more worried if a guy doesn't show emotion
at all.
or care about a situation that he should care about.
Right, and you said something that's really important too, that women are not really receptive, and I feel like as a woman, and just speaking for everybody else, I think that's something we should work on. I think we
sure.
should be able to
Both sides.
consider, but I mean, for men, you guys, it's almost like you guys feel forced to take our feelings in because we throw it at you guys. You know what I mean? But like
Relationships are built for women to be, you know, the hierarchy. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes
y'all on
it is
the
like that.
pedestal.
But as a woman, I think we should try a little bit harder just to really, if you get a man that's really coming to you, expressing how they feel or whatever, really take that as a big deal because it's not common. So if your man is coming to you like, babe, this is how I feel, and like really just putting all the walls down, being vulnerable with you, you should
There's a
take that
difference
in.
though. There's a percentage on that. Like if he's overly sensitive all the time,
Yeah.
I don't know. But if he's one of those dudes where he just goes with the vibe and then every now and then he'll show emotion on something, I feel like you should adhere to what he's, you know, showing emotion on.
Also, too, think about it this way. A lot of females or a lot of women like to take whatever the man is saying and use it against them. That's
True.
another thing, too. Men
That's
don't
true.
like to feel like their back is against the wall.
You guys have a catalog.
Right.
Just
Or
build
we
it up
give
in your
y'all...
head and just-
And spit it out.
Right,
Like,
right,
That's
right,
true. That's
right.
true.
Or we give y'all ammo to fight against us. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I could say that I lost my job one day, and then you be like, okay, you a bum, you this, you that, and third.
lost your job.
That's why you lost your job. See, and another thing is, like, men don't do that. When you guys express to us exactly how y'all feel, we take it. Sometimes it goes in one ear out the other because we're not trying to hear it.
That's
Just
true.
keeping it a buck.
Yeah.
But then other times when we sit there, we talk to you about it. We don't use it against you. We just sit there.
There are
some
guys out there.
There are guys.
And we got a special word for them. We can't say it on this.
Yeah, we can't say it. But listen to Kill
Okay.
Talk. You'll hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more question for you guys. So we're gonna keep it short and sweet, but I want you guys to still be honest.
All right.
Okay?
That's what we do.
Y'all ready? Why is it so hard for men to be faithful? Keep it short. Look, the silence that y'all just gave me, I know
On
y'all have a
point.
lot to say. But the challenge is
Oh,
keep it
man.
short. Because I know we could be here all day talking about
There's-
that
there's-
particular
man.
question.
There's so many reasons why a man can't be faithful. Honestly,
I wouldn't even say can't. Like, it's possible, but
it's definitely possible.
So why don't men want to be faithful?
I think.
I
Is it
wouldn't
just
say
too?
one.
Is it,
Go ahead,
is it
speak
too
on it.
easy
I'ma
to
give
cheat?
my-
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. A lot of men lack different things, and communication is not our biggest thing for most men, right?
Right.
We don't communicate well, and we tend to lash out by cheating or by doing things that are unfaithful, and not communicating with our spouse, saying that, okay, here's an issue, here's a problem, we need to rectify this, and we don't do that because we feel like we can't communicate with them. They don't understand us.
Big facts.
So we take that and we run with it, and we lash out on the other female, or we tend to go to something new because it's an escape,
Okay.
in a sense. And it's
But answer me this, not to cut you off. I want
Yeah.
both of you guys to answer. So what about when the relationship is going just fine? Everything is good. And you're like, yo, this girl is just everything I want. I could ask for. Everything is perfect.
When it's like
And
that,
you
I feel
still-
like that probably is a majority thing.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what time, you know, this perfect woman came into that person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know my younger version, like, I probably dealt with some great women, but at the time, I wasn't ready for that.
right.
But now I'm, you know, 29. Like, I could be like, yo, if I dealt with these women now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it would have been a different scenario. But that's just how the cookie crumbles.
So you feel like it depends on the man's place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, you know, like, honestly, like, a woman that's a great woman, you should never, if a dude, you know, poo-pooed on you, a PG-13 version, you feel me? Like, you should never switch up how you treat treat yourself or treat your spouse. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's not on you. If you doing everything you're supposed to do, don't switch up. The dude just wasn't ready
You're
to
right.
accept what you were. You feel me?
Alright.
That's just what it comes
And
down
a
to.
lot of times too, women try to, let's just say, like what Cadet said, like a man's not ready, but women try to force
Yes.
themselves on you and try
Stop
to
it.
force the idea of a relationship when in fact that he's being very truthful to you.
That's
why you
true.
get cheated on. That's why you
That's
get hurt.
true.
Because he's already told you he's not ready for X, Y, and Z, but you in your mind think that you can change that.
That's
And
true.
a lot of men say, okay, you think you could change it, but I already told you what I'm going to do. So if you get hurt, it's on you. And then now
say that.
it's a different vibe.
We're going to leave that right
It's
there.
a different vibe.
You just dropped the bomb.
Yeah, it's a
If
different
we get
vibe.
hurt, it's on us, ladies, apparently.
It's on y'all.
So,
I'm not co-signing that.
I have another question for you guys. I know y'all probably tired of my questions.
Nah,
But they're good
we
questions.
here.
Okay. How do you guys feel about prenups? Do you think they're necessary, not necessary? What are like what's men real thoughts about
So
prenups?
my take on prenups is that it depends on the platform that you're on, and it also depends on the relationship that you're with. How long were you with them, and things of that nature. If you are on a platform where there's mega millions involved, you know what I'm saying? You might want a prenup because something might go wrong, situations might happen because you don't want something that you built for somebody else to take. That's just my perception on it.
Okay.
For me, I feel like even if it isn't like a large platform where I'm a millionaire, if I'm making 6 figures or better or close to it, if I'm like 10 off of 6 figures, we're doing a prenup.
So you guys are for prenups only if you guys are millionaires?
Not even million. I said 6 figures. You ain't got to be a millionaire at 6 figures.
He did say that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if you're making good money, you should do a prenup because people be in situations for the wrong reasons. Like a lot of people will jump into a situation because either A, she has money or B, he has money. So it's like to protect myself and what I've worked for. Like it's not
okay,
a
so
prenup.
let's say for instance you were dating a woman and you guys were dating from the start. You're building your career advances over the time, and then you end up making 6 figures
that
or
money.
more and stuff like that. But
I
she was
would-
with you from the jump.
I think that's probably safer.
So
Yeah.
That's safer because
And
if
on
I was
top-
with you at 30K and then I get into 6 figures,
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable with that because you accepted me at my lowest, as opposed to somebody that's coming in at your
Freshly
highest.
coming in
you
when
know what I'm
you-
saying?
Yeah.
Because like they coming in, people are it's a bad situation
Yeah,
as far
yeah,
as dating these days.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, people come into a situation.
Most people
paint
have a
this
motive
picture.
now.
Exactly.
They're like, oh,
so it's like,
secure
man,
the bag
if
with
you messing
him.
with my money, nah.
yeah.
And I agree too. Like I feel like for a situation like that, I wouldn't need a prenup because I
Yeah.
feel comfortable. She was with me at my lowest, and she's still with me at my highest. Why do I need a prenup? What happens, happens. You know.
True.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what she's bringing to the table too, though. Because she's coming into a situation where she just got like a 9 to 5. No disrespect to that, but like if I'm working a career and you got a 9 to 5, like nah, because the way the laws are worked, it's gonna work in the
your
female's favor. Basically,
Facts.
it's like nah.
So let's say, for instance, what if a woman is making 6 figures or more, and she's a millionaire or whatever, and then her husband just so happens to be a stay-at-home dad? Would she be wrong to ask him for a prenup?
Nope.
Absolutely
not.
not.
Do your thing, ladies.
A lot of men try to make it seem like she's wrong for trying to, get a prenup. In all honesty, it's the same thing. We just thinking about the sex of it. Like, oh, she's a female, she shouldn't ask for a prenup.
Correct.
In all honesty, if she's making bread, she want to protect her assets. By all means, go get a prenup.
So you guys, the
I
ladies
agree
can
with
ask for
it.
Yeah,
prenups?
go ahead.
of course.
Because I
These
know there's
days,
some dudes, they're like,
things are
oh,
different,
nah.
No.
Like, times have changed. Like, women are really on they, get this money,
Yeah.
education-wise or whatever it may be. They on their hustle mode. A lot of dudes, they be chilling. They be comfortable in whatever they doing
Yeah.
or not doing. And
Yeah, being
I say
moochers.
protect yourself, either or
Couch
protect
potatoes.
yourself.
I've dealt with that.
Right.
But we're not going to go there today. So for this episode, we actually have a segment called Explain This. So I'm going to give you guys a brief scenario of something that recently happened. You guys know Pastor Gray, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so recently he actually cheated on his wife. He has a big church, he has different books, he has
Pastor
different...
cheating on his wife.
Correct.
That
So
don't happen a lot.
for him, his standpoint is, in the beginning of his career, he wasn't as humble as he was. He was building himself up, and a lot of things he felt like was excused. So we don't really know if there was cheating in the past, but
Right.
this recently came about.
Yeah.
So now he feels like now that he's put his wife pretty much at like this certain pedestal, something happened, he really probably shouldn't get the backlash of it. So how do you guys feel about pastors or people kind of in the public eye who hold a certain standard, these type of things are happening.
Definitely going first. I
So
feel
go
like
ahead.
pastors are full of crap.
Oh, all of them?
Because, yo, like 98%. Because they paint this pretty picture like, yo, you're supposed to do this by the Bible, you're supposed to do that by the Bible. And, like, I have experience with this where, you know, a pastor is preaching this, that, and the third, and it's like a marriage counselor, but was cheating on his wife with,
Right.
like, a female that I
So
knew.
how can you preach something you're not
Exactly.
practicing? Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
and I feel like a lot of pastors do that. Like, we've heard a lot of times, either in the Haitian community or regular communities, like, where we heard about a pastor doing this, you know, slick stuff on the slide. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
it happens all the time. So it's like, I feel like it's worse because you're trying to, you know, as far as your following, you're trying to, yo, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, but you're not doing that.
Right,
So
right.
how does that work? It's like your parents telling you to do something and they don't even do it.
Right.
It's like, I'm not finna do that because you don't do it. So I'm gonna follow by example, you feel me?
Don't
And
have
it's
sex
supposed
before marriage.
Exactly.
But yeah,
So
I'm in the
pastors
picture.
lead by example. We could go off of your past experiences, but now that you're a pastor, you're supposed to be at this certain standard, but I think people forget that they're human.
Right. They're
But-
still regular people just like
Exactly,
you and I.
but they forget that they're human because they make themselves out to be better than human. We don't have flaws because we're a pastor.
Right.
No, pastors are full of crap. I don't care. It is what it is.
My take on it is, I mean, he's gonna do whatever he needs to do to make sure that she's in the picture. Because without her, he's nothing. Think about a whole church, a semi-mega church, a mega church. You know, a pastor always has a wife to lean on.
Right.
So if she leaves, the church
look
leaves.
good.
You know what I'm saying? She has to actually stay in the picture because they are big together. They are nothing together.
So the
Or apart, I should say.
right. So he actually did buy her, I believe, a Lamborghini truck. So as kind of like a forgiveness gift.
As he should.
So
As
so
he
you
should.
you guys feel like, you know, if a guy gets caught cheating or doing anything wrong, giving that girl a gift or something like that, is that excusable?
Nah.
Is it just a gesture?
It never makes up for what the
nothing.
for
You just
why
lost
you
money.
cheated.
That's all you did.
You lost money. But at the same time, guys always try to buy their apologies. If
Correct.
that makes any sense.
Correct.
Supposed to working for it.
And it's as opposed to working for it. But there's a lot of trust that's lost. But two, in a standpoint where he is, you know, being though he's a pastor and she's the pastor's wife, she's gonna understand like, okay, if I leave, there's a position that's not fulfilled, and he's gonna lose a lot of money, and we're gonna lose a lot of money. So he has to do something dramatic to keep her in the picture, and she has to come out and say, you know what, my man cheated on me, but at the end of the day, I'm a woman of God, and I am forgiving.
I'm
you
gonna
know,
stand by
Say
my
that for
man.
the public, but
But at the
we
same
know
time,
it's very hard
the
for
money
women
train
to
has to
forgive.
keep going.
Right.
That's all it's about.
But that happened in New Destiny because, you know, he cheated on his wife when he was alive. I don't remember the guy's name, but he passed away. But, like, at the time when he was alive, he cheated on his wife with a woman that was in the church. And, like, he lost a lot of people, but people were still there. But he lost a lot. Because I agree.
It was a scandal. It was scandalous.
Because you lose your wife, it's just like, what?
Yeah, it's
Like,
whatever.
Yeah, because how often do you see a single pastor?
Nah,
and like we
very
were kind of
rare.
talking about earlier, if you do see like a single pastor, it's kind of questionable. Like, well,
Yeah.
why are you single?
Right,
Why?
right,
Because
right.
it's not like this family image. Oh, it's a husband, it's a wife.
Right.
She's the lady of the church, lady so and so, lady so and so. So it's like, okay, she's his backbone. So when they do have there's certain Sundays where they talk about marriage and stuff like that,
It don't hold
It
as
don't
much
hold-
merit.
it don't hold as much weight because it's like you don't even
Exactly.
have anybody. So what do you
Lead
really?
by example. That's
Right.
it, yeah.
Like I said, it holds something. Like if you want to take it a step further, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's all about money at the end of the day. They are bigger together than they are apart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Jay-Z cheated, did whatever. I'm sure Beyonce doing her thing. You know what I mean?
Like for
Whoa.
instance, I'm glad you.
Beyonce
Oh,
don't
hold up
cheat.
now. I'm part of the Beehive. Don't do that.
Oh, don't do it.
Women cheat better.
So
For
well,
sure.
what I was gonna say is like Kobe and his lady. It costs more to keep, or no, it
He
costs
bought that
less to
ring.
keep her.
He
So
bought
it's
that ring.
like
I
It's
remember
cheaper
that.
to keep her.
yeah,
It's
cheaper to
It really
keep her.
is.
So it's like if they would have gotten divorced, and they would have went through it,
Of
he would have
course.
lost.
He lost mad buku money.
So do you think like
Magic Johnson. You
Buku
Yeah.
money.
people,
yeah. So for Pastor Gray do you think it's more so of a public acceptance for his cheating, or more so do you think he was really more focused on his wife? Because I feel like if you're at home and you guys can work on the forgiveness, that's one thing. But because he bought this truck, because he made it public, because the public now found out about the cheating, so
that's
he
the
probably
thing.
felt like, oh, I got to prove to them that, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. If the cheating never made it to the public, he wouldn't have done that.
He wouldn't have done it.
He would have done
agree.
like
I-
a smaller scale of an apology, but because
Because
it
would have been more
yeah.
sincere, and it'd been more at
Exactly,
home. Y'all
exactly.
would have handled it at home.
But like I
Social media
said,
times.
you have to look at where he's at as far as a platform. Like he is a pastor of a semi-mega church. So with that being said, if cheating scandals come out, that breaks his church completely.
Correct.
It
So if
already
he does
came out,
something
though.
right, but what I'm saying is, for him to make it up, the church seers or the church goers or the church viewers view it as, okay, you know, he's human. He made it up. And on top of that, she didn't leave. So she's accepting the gift. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they bring it together.
Correct.
The
And
money
then-
keeps going.
Are women
Yeah.
saying they're accepting it if they, are they saying they accept the cheating if they stay though? That's where like another question could come in.
See, and that's another thing, because a lot of women I know have been in certain situations or different relationships where cheating was happening, but they stayed because they were just comfortable, but everything else following the relationship was just completely just in distraught. So it's like not to say they forgave, but they stayed because they're just comfortable. So when they're in the relationship, if their person cheated, so they just kind of feel like, okay, well, I'm here in this relationship, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. I don't forgive you. Now our relationship, we're not even, there's no trust, there's no communication. Now I'm kind of pulling myself away from you, but I'm still in this relationship. Versus with them, because the thing about it is, he could buy her whatever. We don't know what it's like in that household. They might not even still be sleeping in the same bed together.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
We know a bunch of couples that, you know,
Correct.
be sleeping in 2 separate rooms.
Correct,
and
like-
whatnot.
Sleeping in a different house.
Yeah, like these
Yeah.
social media,
Don't believe the hype. These pictures are nice, but that don't mean that's the reality.
correct. Yeah, like these social media, Instagram, couples goals and all this stuff.
Yeah,
These people
I
be
don't
at
believe
each other's
that.
necks at home. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what's going on in people's
Fact, for
households. So like I just think people should just, that's a whole nother topic, but just worry about your relationship. Stop looking at other people's relationships and trying to, you know, make yours kind of like, oh, they have this, they do that, they go on this trip.
Yeah.
They
But I
probably
think-
fighting as soon as they get on the plane from that
Facts.
trip till they get back home.
I think the biggest factor in like, you know, their situation is like, if there's no forgiveness, like you can't move forward to anything else. Cause like, okay, you can build the trust up, but if the forgiveness is not there, there's no trust. Like there's no even first step to going into the trust factor because she don't forgive him.
That's true.
And a lot of women think because, okay, they stayed, like, there's no forgiveness. Because if you're able to, you know, keep bringing it up, there's no forgiveness there. Like,
So-
we're not telling y'all to forget. We're
Correct.
just saying, like, let's have a conversation and dead it after this.
Why are girls more forgiving than guys though? Because if a guy gets cheated on, he's like, oh, she's this, she's that, he's out the door.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. We're
So-
weak. We're weak.
Weak, and also too, guys have a zero tolerance for BS, and women have all the tolerance for BS,
I got
and
a
it's
way
not
higher
purposely.
tolerance.
It's just so they run off of emotion. Guys don't run off of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, if I love you, you're supposed to be loyal.
Women
Right.
hate
You know what I'm
hearing
saying?
that.
And women hates that.
Women
but it's
don't
the
like
truth.
hearing that.
It's the truth.
No, there's a lot of emotional guys out there. I'm not even going to say
It
like there aren't
is.
because there are a
It
lot
is.
of sensitive, you know,
Guys.
female dog guys out there. You know what I'm saying? So they're out there. I'm not gonna say that because like I know when we say that, women like, nah, what are you talking about? Like,
So
there are
why
more
is it
emotional
that
guys.
if a woman is dealing with a man and he's out here doing whatever and she just decides I'm not gonna tolerate this, it's like, oh, you gave up on him, you didn't give him a chance, you didn't do that. If y'all
Those ain't
don't
your
tolerate,
friends.
Those ain't right.
right,
If they
if-
know the whole truth, like, nah.
Yeah, especially if
not
he's
even
a
just your
dog.
friends, just outside people. They just feel like, oh, you know, because I know people who they're dating certain people and they're not, you know, being the best person that they could be. And then the girl wants to leave and they're like, oh, well, you know, he's the man. That's what he does. You just need to be okay with it. He pays the bill.
Okay, yo.
So
It's like-
here's
Yo.
the thing. Here's the thing.
I'm a man and I'm like, nah,
Yeah,
that
Right,
ain't it.
like
That's not it.
it should be the same way. The same way you say men don't tolerate BS, it should be the same way for us
women.
Us
But
women.
here's the thing. All right. So I like to say this, that women like to go off emotion. I said that before,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes men tend to take that and run with it. you know, oh, I messed up. I'm gonna be in there. She's gonna take me back, right?
Right.
But as a female, as a woman, you should know, okay, men are liable to mess up, right? But at the same time, how much do you value yourself? Or is it a continuous thing, or is it okay? He messed up once. He's trying his best to come back. He's showing me that he can be faithful. He's showing me he can be loyal. He's working his trust up. So at what point do you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to forgive, but I can't forget, but I'm going to forgive, and I'm going to work on what we got.
You're right.
Versus the man is a continuous cheater.
Right.
And you're staying in a situation, you as a woman got to value yourself a little bit more.
Right.
Women don't differentiate that though, man.
Right.
It's
That's
like
true.
once a cheater, always a cheater. Because sometimes it could be a mistake, and he cheated that one time. He realized, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, if you love me, you would have never done it. Like, stuff happens.
Yeah, of course.
He might have done it and learned from his mistake and wants to, you know, work to a better place. But a lot of times women don't allow us to get to that better place because y'all dangle that little thing over our heads. And it is what it is. Like, I can't fault the woman because, you know, we did what we did. But men tolerance, as far as a woman doing it, it's not there. It ain't gonna happen.
It's
different.
not.
Cause we hold y'all to a higher like standard, you know. I mean, it might be a
So
bad thing,
does
but
that
it's a
mean
good
we
thing,
shouldn't
too.
hold men to a higher standard? It shouldn't be
Y'all
that
don't, though.
we just automatically go, oh, I know I'm dealing with a dude. There's a possibility he's gonna cheat on me, and I'm just gonna be okay with it. But
I know women that say that. They're like,
that's true. That's
it's
true.
gonna happen.
That's true.
And also too, like think about a female. Majority of females go into a relationship thinking, oh, he's a dog anyways. I'm gonna just see what he got to offer.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
if you're
true.
automatically going in the
A lot of
same,
times we go
all
after
men
the
are
bad
same.
guys.
Right.
Yeah.
All men are the same, and you're a dog, but I want to see what you have to offer as another dog.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like instead of saying, okay, he's a man, he's different. Let me see what he has to offer.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. So, Cadet, we actually got something special for this episode. I'm not going to let them know, but we have something coming up for them, right?
Like
Sure.
this.
All right.